Yeah, I mean, and I've done a lot of thinking about this and I've felt many different ways about it. And I probably have a little more nuanced of approach than a lot of people because I come from the directing side where you need good actors. Like, if you don't
Mhm.
have a good actor and they have the actual disability, your movie is going to fall apart. Like, they have to be able to act. And that is the hardest part about finding disabled actors. Yes, there are talented people who can act who have disabilities, but sometimes that character that you had in your mind isn't, you kind of have to be able to adjust and adapt your script or adapt what you had in your mind to who you can find. So I think you have to first demand that it's going to be authentic casting, because if you don't, there's always going to be a better actor who is non-disabled, because over time they've always had more opportunities, more training, more experience. So it's easy to go, well, we looked and we didn't find anyone, so we're going to go with someone who can act. And they'll write it off as no one else can act. But I have been in the position with many other films, like working on Crazy Rich Asians. They wanted to have an Asian lead who could star in this movie, who has also had a British accent, because that's how the character was written,
Mhm.
who also was handsome and charming and all these things. And we had casting directors all over the world looking for this person. And it was very, very hard. But John was so adamant, John, the director, was so adamant about making sure that we cast this appropriately. And we ended up finding Henry Golding, which now has a huge career as an actor. And he was not even really trying to act. He was like a TV host for travel shows. And it was taking that risk to find people, audition them, and see if they have some of that natural ability. So, and then that you can start to craft and start to develop with them. So it's really been interesting. And, I like, at first I was like, oh, but if they can't find someone, then it doesn't get made. And should we do that or not? I was a little more on the fence, but now I'm totally like, you have to cast authentically, because, and you have to like search to the depths of the end of the earth to find this person. And not a lot
Literally.
of, and not a lot of casting directors are up for that. They're like, I don't know if I want to actually go all the way to, where they found the lead for Best Foot Forward. He was just playing on a baseball field and someone heard that there were these auditions and he tried. And like, if you would have gone the traditional routes of just asking people to submit, you
Mhm.
wouldn't find him. And I personally think he was the best kid actor on that entire show. And he was dealing with other kid actors who had lots of experience and have worked on huge movies. And, so these people exist out there, but you have to really search hard and find them. Or what I think is you find the actor and then you write something for them, which is what I've been doing a lot of, is like finding people and then going, okay, what story can I create around this person? And, that has helped. But the reason why it's so important is because if you don't use actual disabled people, the disabled people feel as if in society feels as if these characters are kind of a myth. So they like watch them on screen and they, are faking having a disability. And then when they go and win an award, which they usually do in these
Mhm.
stories, they walk up, if they're a wheelchair user in the movie, and then they just walk up to win this award and the disability is magically gone. It's more of a myth. It's like almost a fairy tale story where that still puts disabled people into this box of not actual human beings who exist out in the world. And so you have to cast authentically because of that. And then also because it's some of the only roles that certain disabled people can play are these, visibly disabled characters. So if you're going to create a character that's with a disability, you need to, put actual actors who have the disability in there. This is also a craft. This is also, and I think that's
100%.
sometimes a part that is missing with the disability community, is like, it has to be good. And I know like Sia wrongfully said that thing
Oh.
that she said in her tweet of like, well, there was no one good, but she also went with a girl who was like her muse,
Right.
and you're
Right.
like, how hard did they try is the question. So
Absolutely.
that's where I feel it is nuanced. It is something, as a new director as well, the easiest thing I could possibly do is cast Jennifer Lawrence in a project and it be amazing. But the harder thing I'm going to have to do is take a risk on someone new and hope that I can help them, launch their career, get, start to gain that experience and keep going like I did, with Knox on Forgive Us Our Trespasses. And that is so rewarding when that happens. So
Yeah.
It's a really complex thing, but I think that we need to demand like that more authentic casting when it's stories, you know, that have disabled characters in them.